Hello, how are you? I'm a little sleepy. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. Today, it is June 2nd, 2023. It's on Friday, and it is raining heavily outside. How are you spending Friday? I used to feel happiest on Friday nights because I used to have holidays on Saturdays and Sundays. Do you also feel happiest on Friday night? I presume that many people feel the happiest on Friday's night, expecting the day offs on Saturdays and Sundays. I presume that many salaried workers are feeling happiest tonight, because many of them have a day off on Sunday and Saturday. But it depends on the working shift or school schedule. I presume that the combination of curiosity and persistency will lead us to incredible space not many people can reach. The Earth used to be presumed to be flat in the long time ago. It was presumed in the past wrong that the Earth was flat. It was once presumed that the Earth was flat. The total budget for the picnic is presumed to be within 20,000 yen per person. It will be presumably sunny tomorrow. Let's get through the heavy rain today. The sun is waiting for us tomorrow. Presumably, the rain won't be alleviated until tomorrow morning. Presumably, the heavy rain will not be relieved until tomorrow. Presumably. My pet dog may be presumably hungry. That's why he is shouting, screaming, barking. My pet dog presumably wants to go for a walk. If only he could speak like human beings. I wish my pet dog could speak as well as humans. Presumably. 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 Everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. Presumably, everything will turn out to be fine. Presumably, everything will prove to be fine. The second natural disaster is presumable to some extent, like tsunami after the earthquake. Some natural disasters some natural disasters are presumable. Presumable. The arrival time of the tsunami from the epicenter is presumable to some extent. The arrival time of tsunami from the epicenter is presumable to some extent, to a certain degree, to a certain extent, presumable, 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 presumable. Let's prepare for presumable disasters. Let's prepare for presumable disasters. Let's prepare for presumable disasters. We had better prepare for presumable disasters such as tsunami, earthquake, flood, and so on beforehand in advance. We might as well prepare for natural disasters, presumable natural disasters, presumable, 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 presumable. High tide could have been presumable. This is the power of nature that often exceeds our presumable preparation. Presumable accident, presumable questions. Examinees are usually preparing for presumable questions from the examiners. What you fear about something can be presumable to a certain extent from the expression on your face. Presumption of the amount of the damage. Presumption of the damage caused by the future earthquake and tsunami. The presumption of the damage to the affected area by natural disaster. Presumption. The simulation presumption of the damage affected by future tsunami and earthquake and other natural disasters. Presumption. 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 Nature often exceeds our presumption. The power of nature often exceeds our presumption. and destroys many things. Nature often goes so far as to go beyond our presumption. She went so far as to order another set of menu after eating one. She went so far as to order another set of menu after eating. Presumption. What is your presumption based on? What is your presumption based on? What is your presumption based on? I based my presumption on some reliable information and resources. Reliable resources. Reliable sources. Presumption. The presumption is based on computer simulation. Presumption. Presumption. Presumable. 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 Presumption. 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 My presumption was turned down for lack of definite proof. My presumption was rejected for want of definite proof. I'm super vulnerable to criticisms. Are you also vulnerable to criticisms? Are you vulnerable to temptations such as shops, restaurants on the way? Vulnerable. Vulnerable to. Vulnerable. 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 Maybe we are usually vulnerable to temptations, so it's a good idea to remove temptations if you are a student, such as TV, smartphone, video games, and so on in your room, to concentrate on your duty, study, and so on. Because it's difficult or almost impossible to change the mind, conscious, and so on. She lost to the temptation of the food and ate twice the amount of limited amount. She lost to the temptation of the food and ate a lot of food during her diet. Electrical gadgets are usually vulnerable to water. Appliances are usually vulnerable to water. Appliances are usually vulnerable to water. Many products are vulnerable to water. Once they get contact with water, they break down. Many products are vulnerable to water. Once they get contact with water, they break down. They will break down. Some rare species are at risk of extinction. Some rare species are at risk of extinction. some indigenous birds went extinct. Some rare species used to live only in the region got extinct, became extinct. I don't want rare species to be extinct, so let's conserve the animal species. Extinct. Extinct. Do you know the reason why dinosaurs were extinct in the past? I read the story long time ago, but I forgot. I'm not familiar with the reason why dinosaurs were extinct. Some mushrooms have poison. Some mushrooms have poison, so please be careful. Are you familiar with the kinds of mushrooms? Are you familiar with the kinds of mushroom? Because there are many poisonous mushrooms out there. But we can tell about the poisonous mushrooms from the appearance. Poisonous mushrooms apparently look colorful and so on. Poison. As far as I know, vaccination is to poison ourselves to get the immunization against it, right? I'm sorry if it is wrong. As far as I know, getting vaccination is to get poisoned, the small amount of poison, to get the immunization against it, right? I don't know. As far as I know, getting vaccination is to get a small amount of poison in our body to get the immunization against it, right? Poison. Poisoning ourselves a small amount of poisoning ourselves a small amount of poisoning a small amount of thing. Poisoning ourselves small to get the immunization to get the immunization against it. Poison. The noise coming from the outside was nothing but a noise for examinees. The noise coming from outside was none other than poison for the examinees. The suspect was arrested for poisoning the food. The suspect was arrested for poisoning the food. The man is suspected of poisoning the food. The suspect was arrested for 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 poisoning the food. 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 As far as I know, getting vaccination is to poison our body to get immunization against it. As far as I know, getting vaccination means to poison ourselves in order to get the immunization against a certain virus and so on. As far as I know, getting vaccination means poisoning ourselves so as to get the immunization, get the immunization, get the immunization, get to the immunization, get the immunization, get to the immunization, get to the immunization, get to the immunization, get immunization against certain virus. As far as I know, getting a vaccination is to poison ourselves to get the immunization against a certain virus. The man is doubted of poisoning the food. The man is doubted of poisoning the food. The man is suspected of poisoning the food. The man is suspected of having poisoned the food. The man is suspected of having poisoned the food. The man is suspected of poisoning the food. How can I tell apart the poisonous from not poisonous mushrooms? Poisonous. How can I tell apart poisonous mushrooms from the not poisonous ones? How can I tell poisonous mushroom from not poisonous one? Poisonous, poisonous, intoxic, toxic, poisonous, 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 a poisonous snake, a poisonous snake, a poisonous mushroom. How can I tell a poisonous mushroom from others? How can I tell poisonous mushrooms from others? How can I tell poisonous mushrooms from not poisonous ones? How can I tell poisonous mushrooms from not poisonous ones? How can I distinguish poisonous mushrooms from not poisonous ones? How can I distinguish poisonous mushrooms from not poisonous ones? Poisonous, 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 poisonous. A poisonous snake, a poisonous snake, a poisonous mushroom. How can I tell a poisonous mushroom from others? How can I tell poisonous mushrooms from not poisonous ones? How would you like the steak to be cooked? How would you like the steak to be cooked? How would you like the steak to be cooked? How would you like the steak to be cooked? How would you like the steak to be cooked? Rare, medium, or well done? Maybe medium, 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 medium. Medium, 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 medium. Rare, medium, well done. How would you like the steak to be cooked? Which is your favorite one? Rare, medium, or well done? Now that we can utilize many media, especially social networking service, it's more easier to advertise our service without costing. Small and medium-sized companies should be helped promoted more. Small and medium-sized companies should be supported more. Small and middle-sized companies should be supported more. I'm sorry for failing to meet your expectations. I'm really sorry for failing to meet the expectations. I tried to meet your expectations, but I failed. I'm sorry for letting you down by failing to meet the expectations. I'm sorry for letting you down. I'm sorry for letting you down by failing to meet the mission, failing to meet your expectations. Sorry for letting you down by failing to meet your expectations. Stay focused, stay careful, and don't let down your guard. Don't let down your guard. The security guards around the Imperial Palace never let down their guards. The security guard stationed around the Imperial Palace never let down their guards. Never let down your guards. Never let down your guard. Never let down your guard. Don't let down your guard until the end. When the boxer let down his guard, he got hit on his cheek and got knocked down. When the boxer let down his guard, he got punched. He got a strong blow on his cheek and he collapsed. When he let down his guard, he got such a strong blow on his cheek. When the boxer let down his guard, the opponent delivered a strong, extraordinary blow on his cheek, making him collapse. When the boxer let down his guard, the opponent delivered a strong blow on his cheek, head, face, stomach. When the boxer let down his guard, the opponent delivered an awesome blow on his stomach, making him collapse. When the boxer let down his guard, the opponent delivered an awesome blow on his stomach, making him knocked down. When the boxer let down his guard, the opponent delivered an awesome blow on his stomach, and he was knocked down. Don't let down your guard. Don't let down your guard until the end. Till the end. Till the end. Till the end. Don't let down your guard. Don't let down your guard. When the criminal with the hostage let down his guard, the police officers rushed to the scene. When the criminal with the hostage let down his guard, the police officers captured him immediately. And the hostage was rescued, helped. When the criminal let down his guard, the police officers captured him. Let down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down by telling a lie. I no longer I am no longer let down by you, because I am not expecting from you. I'm not expecting anything from you. I won't be let down by you anymore, because I'm not expecting anything from you. I am no longer let down by you, because I am not expecting anything from you. The boxer never let down his guard on the first round, protected perfectly, and got 0 blow from the opponent. The boxer did not let down his guard at all on the first round and got 0 blow on his head, on his face. Don't let down guard. Don't let down guard. Don't let down guard. The assistants from the ring side called out, "Don't let down your guard," to the boxer. The assistants from the ring side called out to the boxer that he should not let down his guard until the end. Don't let down your guard. 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 As soon as the suspect lets down his guard, the police officers arrested him, captured him immediately. As soon as the boxer let down his guard, the opponent delivered an awesome blow on his stomach, made him collapse, made him knocked down. As soon as the boxer let down his guard, the opponent hit his stomach with awesome blow, and he was knocked down. As soon as the boxer let down his guard, the opponent delivered an awesome blow on his stomach, making the boxer knocked down. Very much sophisticated appliances are available now with cheaper prices. Sophisticated textbooks are available now. Sophisticated appliances, textbooks, gadgets, and other things with reasonable prices. Sophisticated education system. Everything will be sophisticated through trial and error. With time, everything will be improved and sophisticated through trial and error. With time, everything will be sophisticated through trial and error with time. Sophisticate. We will be sophisticated with time by experiencing the society. Gradually, little by little, sophisticate. Appliances are being sophisticated gradually. Appliances have been sophisticated very much compared to the ones in the past. Sophisticate. sophisticate, sophisticate. We can sophisticate ourselves only by experiencing, only going through experiences, hardships, predicaments, difficulties, and so on. We can be sophisticated through difficulties, predicaments, hardships, and so on. In other words, we cannot be sophisticated without going through difficulties, hardships, predicaments, and so on. We can be sophisticated. We can be sophisticated by going through difficulties, predicaments, hardships, and so on. Because we can stack up such experiences so as not to make the same mistakes, and so on. We can approach perfection gradually. Sophisticate, 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 sophisticate. I wish I were as sophisticated as you. I wish I were as sophisticated as you. Sophisticate. Products are being sophisticated with time. Product will be sophisticated with time. Product will be sophisticated with time. Engineers are trying to sophisticate the product by the end of this year. The fans of the video game console is looking forward to the sophisticated new console from the company, video game console. The fans of the video game is looking forward to the new console, sophisticated console, sophisticated console. The fans of the video game is looking forward to the new video game console from the company. If there is no sophisticated point in the gadget, it is not new at all. It is nothing new at all. If there is no sophisticated points in the new version of the product, there's nothing, no worth. If there are no sophisticated points in the new version of the product, it is nothing. It is no worth buying. If there is no sophisticated points in the new version of the product, it is not worth buying. What is the sophisticated point? What are the sophisticated points of the new version of the product? Could you explain me concisely enough to be able to understand for me? What are the sophisticated points of the new products compared to the previous model? What are the sophisticated points of the product compared to the previous model? Sophisticate. Sophisticate education, production, assembly line, efficiency. Everything is being sophisticated with time. Let's sophisticate our efficiency more. Sophisticate commuting system. Sophisticate ordering system. Sophisticate ordering system. Sophisticate ordering system. Sophisticate the delivery route. sophisticate taking an order system. Let's sophisticate the system for ordering. Sophisticate ordering system. Sophisticate. Sophisticate. Let's sophisticate the assembly line. Let's sophisticate the assembly line, and to make it, in order to make it more efficient, cost effectively. Sophisticate. Let's sophisticate our assembly line. Let's sophisticate our assembly line. Let's sophisticate our assembly line. Sophisticate. We will be sophisticated through difficulties in our lives. We are sophisticated through education to a certain extent. The engineers in the company are trying to sophisticate the product for the new version. The engineers are working on the sophistication of the new model. I wish I were as sophisticated as you. I wish I were as sophisticated as you. Sophisticated. 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 I wish I were as sophisticated as you. I wish I were as sophisticated as you. I wish I were as a sophisticated person as you. I wish I were as sophisticated as you. I wish I were as sophisticated as you. I wish I were as sophisticated as you. Sophisticated. 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 I wish I were as sophisticated as you. I wish I were as sophisticated as you. I wish I were as sophisticated as you. With more experiences in the society, can I be as sophisticated as you? With more experiences in the society, can I be as sophisticated as you? Can I be as sophisticated as you? Sophisticated. 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 I wish I were as sophisticated as you. I wish I were as sophisticated as you. I wish I were as sophisticated as you. Sophisticates might be something in common among them. Sophisticates maybe have something in common. 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 Sophisticate maybe have something in common. Sophisticate. 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 Sophistication of the product lines. Sophistication of the efficiency of the production line. The sophistication of the assembly line in order to cut cost, labor cost, and efficiency. The machines produce 100 units of the product per day. But thanks to the sophistication of the machine, now the new one can produce up to 150 units of the product per day. More efficient. Sophistication. 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 Sophistication of everything. Sophistication of daily routine. Little by little, gradually, day by day. Sophistication, sophistication, sophistication of the assembly line. Sophistication of the game console. Sophistication, sophistication, sophistication. Sophistication of the product lines. The fans of the game console is looking forward to the sophistication of the new console. Okinawa is too distant to visit every month. Okinawa is too distant for me to visit every day. Distant. Naha City is too distant for me to visit every day. Distant. A distant voyage. A deep sea fishing. A deep sea fishing. A deep sea fishing. A distant voyage. A distant voyage involves danger. A distant voyage involves a danger. A distant voyage involves danger. Everything will involve danger to some extent, to a certain extent, to some degrees, to some extent. A distant voyage. 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 distant, distant. The amusement park is too distant to visit frequently. Although, even if I got the year pass, the amusement park is too distant for me to visit frequently. Even with the yearly pass, it is too distant for me to visit the amusement park frequently, so I cannot get the value for money. Even with the yearly pass, the amusement park is located, situated, sited, too distant from my house. The amusement park is located distantly from my house. Too distantly from my house. So even if I get the yearly pass, I cannot visit. I cannot go enough times to get back the value for money. I did hear the ambulance siren distantly. I did hear the ambulance siren, the siren from the ambulance distantly. I did hear the siren from the ambulance distantly. I did hear the siren from the ambulance distantly. Let's see if I was true. We are approaching the ambulance now. We are approaching the sound now. So let's see. Let's see if it was correct. Distantly, distantly, distantly. The balloon went up distantly. The balloon is going up distantly. Before one of the classmates moved to another city distantly, we wrote messages on the board which were given to her. The balloon has already gone distantly. The balloon has already gone distantly. The balloon has gone distantly. The balloon has already gone distantly. The balloon has already gone distantly. Distantly. Can you see the mountain in the distance? Can you see the Tokyo skytree in the distance? How far can I see the Tokyo skytree distantly? From where can I see this? Up to from where can I see Tokyo skytree tower? Where can I see Tokyo skytree? From up to where? Up to from where can I see Tokyo skytree tower? In the distance. I cannot see anything in the distance. I can see nothing in the distance. I could hear the siren from the ambulance in the distance. When it is very sunny, you can see Mount Fuji in the distance from here. When it is very sunny, you can see the Mount Fuji in the distance. When it is very sunny, you can see the continent of Taiwan from Yonaguni Island. When it is very sunny, you can see the continent of Taiwan in the distance from the Yonaguni Island, from the observatory. In the distance, in the distance, due to my bad eyesight, vision, due to my bad eyesight, I couldn't see anything in the distance, but my friend could see an unidentified object in the distance. Unidentified, unidentified. And due to my bad eyesight, vision, I couldn't see anything in the distance, but my friend with good vision could see an unidentified object, an unidentified object, an unidentified object in the distance, Keep your distance from the coastline when it is typhoon or heavy rain and so on. Keep your distance from the car running in front of you. It is, of course. Keep your distance from the car running in front of you. Okay? Keep your distance from the members from the community might be important to make it last longer. Meeting every day will make the relationship worse, maybe. So keeping a distance from the members of a community to a certain extent may be important or essential to make the relationship last longer or forever, eternally, endlessly, eternal, for good, eternal, forever, eternal, forever, everlasting, forever, eternal. Keep your distance from the girl running in front of you. Keep the distance from the car running in front of you. Okay? Keep the distance from the car running in front of you. Keep your distance from others at least 2 meters to prevent you from getting infected with the virus. Keep your distance from others at least 2 meters. Keep your distance from others at least 2 meters to prevent you from getting infected with the virus. Keep your distance. I keep my distance from everybody. I keep my distance from everybody to concentrate on what I like to do. I usually keep keep my distance. I usually keep my distance from everybody to concentrate on my passion, enthusiasm, eager. I usually keep my distance from everybody so as to focus on my passion, enthusiasm, eager, and so on. Keeping my distance from others and secure private time when I become alone is very important. It is said that we can think the most when we are alone. So the time spending alone is very important. I try to secure the time when I'm alone and keep my distance from others to a certain extent to take a balance. Keep your distance from the car running in front of you. Keep your distance from the cars running in front of you. Keep your distance from the car running in front of you. Keep your distance from the cars running in front of you. Stay away from coastline when it is raining heavily. Keep away from coastline when it is typhoon. Keep away from coastline when it is typhoon. Stay away from the coastline when it is raining heavily. Stay away from. I try to keep my distance from everybody in order to concentrate on what I love to do, in order to achieve my goals. I'm good at keeping my distance from everybody in order to focus on what I like to do, what I love to do, in order to achieve my goals. I'm expert at keeping my distance from everybody in order to concentrate on my passion. Keeping our distance from the members in a community might be imperative, indispensable to make the relationship last longer. Keeping our distance from the members in a community to a certain extent might be imperative, indispensable to make the relationship last longer. Someone say, if there are ordinary people, they want to see how they are, what they are, what they are like. Some people say, if there are ordinary people, they want to see what they are like. Ordinary. Crazy. Not ordinary. What is the definition of ordinary? What is the definition of ordinary? Ordinary. I think, I bet, I guess, I suppose that the things agreed by the majority are considered ordinary. I think. I guess the things agreed by majority are considered ordinary, and the things agreed by majority are considered ordinary, which is sad. Hair salons are usually ordinarily closed in Japan. Hair salons are closed ordinarily in Japan. Ordinarily. Hair salons are closed on Monday in Japan. Ordinarily. Hair salons are ordinarily closed on Monday in Japan. Ordinarily. 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 The event used to be held with maximum numbers of customers ordinarily, but due to the pandemic, it was limited to the half. Ordinarily. 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 The event used to be held without limitation to the number of guests, but due to the pandemic, it was limited to a quarter number of the usual numbers. Ordinarily, the event used to be held without limitation to the number of guests, but due to the pandemic, the number was limited and decreased to a quarter of usual numbers. Ordinarily. 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 I can finish passing the bridge by 8 o'clock a.m. ordinarily, but due to the heavy rain and the traffic congestion caused by the heavy rain, I haven't passed through the bridge yet. Ordinarily, and at this time of the day, I have already finished passing the bridge, but due to the traffic congestion caused by the heavy rain, I haven't passed through the bridge yet. Ordinarily, 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 ordinary, ordinarily, 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 I have already passed the bridge, but due to the heavy traffic congestion caused by the heavy rain, I haven't passed the bridge yet. Passed the bridge yet. Ordinarily, I have already passed the bridge. Passed the bridge. I have already passed the bridge. Passed the bridge. Ordinarily, I have already passed the bridge. Passed the bridge. But due to the traffic congestion caused by the heavy rain, aroused by the heavy rain, aroused by the heavy rain, I haven't passed the bridge yet. Cause, arise, arouse. Ordinarily, 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 ordinarily. Ordinarily, the restaurant used to be held up to 11 o'clock p.m., but owing to the pandemic, it was shortened. The opening hours were shortened to 9 o'clock p.m. I wish I could have an extraordinary talent as you. I wish I could have as extraordinary talent as you. I wish I could have as extraordinary talent as you. I wish I could have as extraordinary talent as you. I wish I could have as extraordinary talent as you. I wish I could have some extraordinary skills as you. Extraordinary, extraordinary, an extraordinary talent. An extraordinary talent. I wish I could have as extraordinary a talent as you. Extraordinarily. It is raining extraordinarily. It is raining extraordinarily heavily. It is extraordinarily heavily raining. It is extraordinarily heavily raining. It is extraordinarily heavily raining. Since morning. It has been extraordinarily heavily raining since morning. I hope it will be alleviated. I hope it will let down as soon as possible, as soon as it can. It's been extraordinarily heavily raining. It is raining. It has been raining since morning extraordinarily heavily. Extraordinarily heavily. It has been raining extraordinarily heavily. Since morning. It has been raining extraordinarily heavily. Extraordinarily heavily. It has been raining since morning extraordinarily heavily. It has been raining extraordinarily heavily since morning. Extraordinarily, extraordinarily, extraordinary, extraordinarily, extraordinarily expensive, extraordinarily strong wind, extraordinarily tense, extraordinarily stubborn, extraordinarily obstinate, extraordinarily bad attitude, extraordinarily incredible amount of debt, extraordinarily obstinate, stubborn, extraordinarily strong passion, extraordinarily strong determination, extraordinarily strong determination. Without extraordinarily strong passion, determination, you cannot achieve the goal. if you don't have extraordinarily strong determination, you won't be able to achieve it. Extraordinary. After passing the examination and achieving my goal, I realized that I had such a extraordinarily strong determination. I realized that I had extraordinarily strong determination after achieving my goal. I realized that I had extraordinarily strong determination after achieving my goal. I realized that I had extraordinarily strong determination after achieving some of my goals. Extraordinary, extraordinarily, 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 extraordinarily strong wind, extraordinarily strong wind, extraordinarily strong wind, extraordinarily heavy rain, extraordinarily heavy rain, extraordinarily heavy rain, extraordinary, 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 an extraordinary talent, an extraordinary, 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 extraordinary talent, extraordinarily, extraordinarily, extraordinarily heavy rain. Extraordinarily heavy rain has been experienced in some areas now. Extraordinarily heavy rain has been observed right now in some areas in Japan. Extraordinarily strong, extraordinarily heavy rain has been experienced in some areas in Japan now. Extraordinarily heavy rain has been observed in some areas in Japan now. Extraordinarily huge appetite. The cook was astonished at extraordinarily big appetite of the diner. The cook was astonished at the extraordinarily huge appetite of the diner. Extraordinarily. Extraordinarily heavy rain. Extraordinarily heavy rain has been attacking some areas in Japan now. Extraordinarily heavy rain has been observed, experienced in some areas in Japan now. Okay, I will finish speaking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time.